Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in and check out your boy, P Funk. Thinking right out here in the lab. Oh, I'm in the book. We at chapter 6 now. We about to get into some good stuff. It's called Gnosis, but it's spelled with Gnosis. The G is silent, like Django or Tahuti, but let's go. All right, right there, those 25 rules to live by. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in and receiving them. I appreciate that. Let's do what we do. Excuse me. Right thinking mission. That's what I'm on. Is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to attain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka to know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to yep, know thyself. You see where we're going with this? Let's get there together. So I ask the question: do you know you? You will and through. That's what I do. Okay? A person is rhetorical, but if you had to answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not. It's simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm your spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. I appreciate you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers know thyself and to Mayat be true. Talk about Mayat. Her counterpart is Tahuti. Mayat is balance. Tahuti is thought. They call him thought in Greek or Hermes, but he represents God's mind. He's the right thinking aspect. Everybody wanted me to take that name. No, I got people in my name, but I'm Tahuti. I get it. I understand. So that's what I try to get the point across. All right. Now, this is what right here, this picture, he's giving life to the Pharaoh. Okay. See, right here, this is called the caduceus. Tahuti's stick of caduceus. That same concept is on the ambulance that you see today, emergency trucks. That's it. Okay. And the Christian got one serpent going up the stick. Another lesson there. But this is about Tahuti, or we call him Thoth. To the supreme divinity, God, Gnosis is no beginning. Rather, Gnosis doubts afford us the first beginning of its God being known. You have to think God. You have to understand God. You have to, after that, experience God. And through that, you will manifest God for yourself. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. It's the ways to make that happen. We did it thousands of years in Egypt. Let's talk about it. This is the lesson. Gnosis means knowing something intuitively without having to think about it. How you do that? Study daily, implement the lessons you're studying, reflect, meditate, and it becomes muscle memory. That's how. Okay, but let's see what they tell you about a book. Remember, I'm about a book dude. I don't give you my opinion. I don't give you what I believe. I give you the lesson from the book and break it down for you so you can understand it. It ain't what I say. I'm just trying to get you to understand what they're saying. I knew that. Let's go. That's teaching. All right. Okay, here you go. The guy Tahuti. Okay, this is him in ibis form. This is the ibis bird. This is him in the baboon form. Okay, he had two forms, and those represents wisdom and knowledge conceptually. Okay, so let's talk about him. The Egyptian god of wisdom. Okay, Tahuti. His animal symbols are the ibis bird and the baboon. let's explain. Okay, we're gonna get into the lesson. I done broke that down a few times for you. Let's get to the lesson. Why? It's got a couple of pages, so I'm gonna get to the information. Having information and having knowledge are not necessarily the same thing. But I know, no, you don't know. Useless information is not knowledge. Knowing about something that don't mean nothing is not being intelligent. That's not having knowledge. Information is just that information. I tell you, I give you useful information. That means something you can use. When you get something from the store, they're gonna give you what? The instructions. I'm giving you the instructions. Let's go. So there are two forms of knowledge. You didn't know that? Let me help you out. Excuse me, help you out. Excuse me. Direct and indirect. Well, what you mean? I'm gonna break it down for you. You have indirect knowledge. That is Indirect knowledge is something that you learn. Me giving you what I'm giving you, that's indirect knowledge, okay? And it can be conceived. Okay, no, excuse me. Let's go back to the beginning. Indirect knowledge is something you learn and are convinced of intellectually. You think what you got something. But if that information is a lie, misinterpreted, you have nothing. Okay, that's the one part. Now, what's direct information? That's the best information. Self knowledge is direct information, but direct knowledge, on the other hand, is something you experience. God have to be experienced. That's direct knowledge. You can go to church and preach a prayer all you want, but if you ain't put the work in, you ain't put the study time in, you ain't put the time to do good, righteous things, you're never gonna know God. You won't have your experience. That's called a mystical experience. Waking up, spiritual nightmare, all the stuff they call it, but you have to have it for yourself. It is something which requires no thinking to be understood. It is being knowing knowledge as opposed to what? Learning or thinking knowledge. Knowing thyself. They're not saying believe in thyself. They say no. You mean you get the gnosis. You put the work in and you will know through what? Experience. You have to experience God. Sorry, I get animated at that point. That's the point of what they're trying to teach. That's what I'm trying to break it down for you. You might read this thinking something else. No, I'm trying to help you not misinterpret. Watch this. Now, one may learn about a flower. Okay. How? By reading, but one does not become the flower. You can stand it, smell it, but you ain't the flower. God, on the other hand, to know something intuitionally is an effect, what? To become what? One with it, within one's consciousness. Where else could it be? It's up here, the temple between the two airs. Not made with human hands. That's the temple where God dwells. And man, he had to figure that out. I'm just trying to help you. I figured it out. And understand, when you want something that you don't have, you go with somebody who do. Don't try to figure out how to make it up yourself. We have to do that. Just go get it. So then I got you. So get it, calm down. All right. But remember, okay, you can read about a flower to know the flower. Now watch this. But to know something, see, no, you don't want to become the flower, okay? Watch this. But to know something intuitionally, in effect, to become what? One with it, consciousness. Now, in order for gnosis to occur, remember, gnosis is what? To experience, to know from what the experience. You not think about it. You know, no, you know that. That's how you should be with God. Boy, you amped up today. Calm down. Pump the brakes. You get excited. All right, sorry. But it is necessary, watch this, right thinkers, to become identified with who? With the object of what you're studying. You're studying God. Pay attention. One must accomplish this how? Through concentrated thought and what? Daily meditation. And then what? You implement the thought, you use the meditation, and you do. However, watch this, there are millions of individual objects in the universe, aka the world. So to become one with each of them would take, at the very least, millions of lifetimes. Remember, I told you, knowing thyself may take a few lifetimes. Nobody gets it right the first time out. Well, I don't know about that, but yeah, we all here because whoever was here before my last spirit, when body was in, it didn't get it right. So it came to me. It's my turn. I figured it out. My goal is to help others figure it out. Why? If not, you'll be back. Moving on. But that's the concept. Gnosis means you need to know and experience God for yourself. We can tell you about everything, yeah, but do you actually know God or you believe in God? Believing means not to know. Not to know means you're ignorant. And a lot of us are just that ignorant. Not a bad thing, but you shouldn't die ignorant. We are born ignorant. I use the caterpillar concept. They born caterpillars. You shouldn't die. Why? You should become a butterfly before you die. That means you expand yourself, become your best self, and go on about your business. But in human form, we're spiritual beings having this human experience we call life. And every individual is responsible for his own life. Moving on. But the simpler way to achieve what we call supreme wisdom, Tahuti, or Hotep, is by identifying, you ready? And not just identifying, means studying, learning, no, becoming one in your conscious with the netter, aka God. You have to become one with God consciously. It ain't got to be physical, that ain't gonna happen, but you can mentally. Who is the source of all objects that's in existence? We talked about that already, been there. But now, for you becoming one with or merging with that netter is here, is therefore, you ready? The same as becoming one with all existence. Having all knowledge, aka you reach the Akashic records. Why? You have all power, you're omnipresent, you're omniscient, you're omnipotent. That's you becoming one with God. And everything God is, you are. Makes sense? I'm done. I'm trying to make it make sense so you can understand it. And now what? Implement it. Don't just understand it. No, practice it. Use it so that you can what? You get your own connection to God. That's my purpose. Much of the world, what's this? Is information. What? That we have been told. I told you the first 7 years we're being programmed. And much of that information gathered by our physical body, the senses, the five senses, what we can smell, see, hear, touch, and taste, which are specially made to what? Gather information from what? This physical realm, sorry. And to the extent that it can, the body can only get but so much information, okay, through its senses. That's why it's earthbound. It stays there. It's physical. The body ain't gonna know it. Okay, right into the earth. But what's inside the body is a conscious and a nervous system that works together simultaneously. And when you get conscious of how it works, ooh, buddy, this forms what the basis of what we believe to be real and true in the physical realm. This is not, this is the testing ground. Okay. How you pass the test? Know thyself. Moving on. Try to make it real. I ain't got a whole bunch of time. I see the clock running. But I'm going to make it real simple. Know thyself. Why? Practice, do the things you need to do, and it'll happen for you. This process is what we call it in this world constitute our psychological conditioning into a certain mode of what behavior and a certain beliefs. If we're told, come in the world, what we're told, that's all we got to go with, even if it's wrong. And a lot of times it was, but this is the formation. Excuse me, formation. This is the formation of what we call limited intellect, ignorance. It think and believes it know, and it really don't. But it's hell bent on what it believes and think. It's not going to change. You know those kind of people. Even when they're wrong, they won't admit they've been wrong. Okay, we got a bunch of that. That's false and limited intellect. However, if our senses were designed differently, what you mean? For example, If we had the eyes of an owl, I just watched the great gray owl, man, and he fly. The owls don't make no vibration. Their wings are so that they the quiet. They see well. They 2 miles up in the air. They could see a fish in the ice. Travel with it, and when they beat on it, man, God put them just that way. So every gift that an animal has, God gave it to them. We just understand that gift and we can emulate it. That's where we come being like the uh, zoomorphic form animal that we bring forth. That's why. And you got the canine sense of smell. Imagine having that in heightened smell. And you have the hearing of a bat. They don't see, they go by radar, sonar. And watch this, our bat and perceptions of the world. If we had heightened senses, we would be little different beings, but we don't. Every animal had that for the survival mechanism. But watch this. We have perception of the world, and we would be quite different if we had those things, but we don't. Our perceptions would lead to what? Different beliefs about what the world is, and therefore our experiences would be quite different. Hmm. Just like the difference in you not knowing something about yourself and knowing something about yourself, you're gonna be a different person. Get the concept? I was ignorant of who I was, but you couldn't tell me. I know, yeah, again. But now we would be quite different. Now, similarly, if we could see things, matter, physical stuff in the world, weight of practical accelerator or an electron, meaning we could see microscopic stuff, microscopic stuff, see it, we would live in a world of what they call pure energy, held together by that which is unseen, aka consciousness. That's God. Spirit, pure energy, consciousness, all knowing. That's what represents God. We make God human. No, no, we got to become like him while we're in human form, meaning consciously in your deeds. Hope you understand. I feel like a preacher sometimes talking like that. But God needs to be recognized within yourself, by yourself. Okay? Due to, what's this? Now, due to your limitations in the physical form, the human senses miss a whole other reality, which what lies beyond the ordinary sense and perception. When we go to sleep, all five of your senses shut down. You don't need the body. There's another level. That's what we're talking about. Hope you can understand that. And the absolute truth, God, which what underlies all things in this physical realm, first of all, cannot, what's this? God in the physical realm cannot be sensed with ordinary senses. The five senses won't get you there. Designed only for this physical world, aka the duality world, good, bad, right, wrong, up and down. In the real world, there's none of that. That's eternity. Nothing goes on. That's where all the spirits go who pass. That's what represents God. We go back to the known, where everything comes from. Conceptually, again, that's our philosophy. That's our dogma. That's what we believe. And you got the right to believe whatever you want. I'm not here knocking nobody's belief. That's all we got. But when your belief turns into what? Experience, now you got something. Gnosis, okay? Right thinking philosophy wants to make that happen for you. So therefore, in order for you to know, that is to have gnosis or what? Experiential knowledge of the transcendental and the divine essence of what? Everything. You making a connection with God. When you meditate, that's you and God becoming one. The union between human and spirit, matter and spirit. You are that. When you raise your consciousness, become all spirit, now you become one with what? Your higher self. Boy, this sounds good. I'm working today. Now, but we individually must be able, watch this, individually to connect with this divine essence. Everybody has it. That's the spirit that's in us. That's the gift that God gave us. Our job is to what? Give it back to him by what? Living right and using it in the way it's intended. And then we go back. If not, it's going to reincarnate. God don't want bad, impure bodies. Okay? Bad people won't go to heaven. Simple as that. Well, they stay in hell. They don't go to hell. We already in hell. They just reincarnate right back here. You ain't going nowhere. You going right back here. Sorry, but understand that. And when you have it connected with the divine essence, you are able to perceive its connection with its what? Creator. That's you making that connection. Anybody gonna tell you? Anybody? No, you have it for yourself. Believers hope and wish. Knowers have faith. Why? Because they know what's going to happen. I have faith that I'll be blessed. I have faith that things will work out. Simple as that, but I got to put the work in. Also, just having faith without no works means nothing. Y'all say prayer, same concept, but if you ain't putting the work in, it don't make a difference what religion you practice. Any other, watch this now, any other essence that may be coupled by the use of senses or other information gathering devices will only be an illusion. Understand that. And in order to perceive absolute, non changing truth, you must become one with that absolute truth. This is the essence of our, what we call the journey home. If you don't know who you are, you go to somebody's door. Who is it? Who is it? You don't know who you are. You can't go home. That's the concept. And the absolute experience, that's bliss. That's the awakening. That's everything that they talk about. But when you have it for yourself, you will understand for yourself. The absolute experience of our divine nature will provide us a state of supreme peace. I just told you. We call it Hotep. I greet people Hotep. Why? That means supreme peace. If you are a follower and believer and understander, you know what Hotep means. You reached it. Like Christians know a Christian. Okay? Hotepers know Hotepers. We will have completed what? A circuit come full circle. 360 means a complete circle. That was God's calling card. Okay? When you make it consciously from Amen, which is the hidden reality from where all human souls come, to Geb, which represents earth in the physical form. You are the manifester of physical reality, which is what we're doing here now. And then you need to work to get back to Amen. Your conscious, your higher conscious, your true self. Let me wrap this up. To do this, to get to Amen, you have to become what? God-like. Even while still alive. You have to become enlightened before you die. You got to become that butterfly or you're going to die ignorant, meaning reincarnation. All right, to wrap it up for you. But the true way to know God is by looking within and not out. Why? Because our deepest self is God. Whether you know that or not, the idea is to know that. Okay? He's there. And regardless of your sex, your race, your creed, your religion, it don't make a difference to God. Therefore, in order to know God, it is necessary to become God. Sorry, I get excited, but yeah. But in the Egyptian story of Sinuhe, the king who is a symbol of what? A perfected human being. You know who that is? Haru. Me and you, once we know ourselves. Okay? He is said to have what? Flown to heaven and united with the sun disk. The divine body of the king merging with its maker. It's not physical. In the Egyptian system, the faculty of wisdom is symbolized how? By the ibis bird. Mhm. The faculty of truth is symbolized by the feather mayat from the ibis bird. Now, it makes sense that it's from the ibis bird. I hear people say the ostrich feather. Ostrich feather ain't in our symbology and zoomorphic concept, so the ibis bird fits. I like that. So they got that right. Every now and then, I notice a few things. All right, let's go. I'm a good student. But now, in the Indian philosophical system, remember, this is all philosophy, you can practice a philosophy. You can manifest from a philosophy for yourself. That's why they call it philosophy system. And they had the goddess of wisdom in India. Her name was Saraswati. And she's often shown sitting on a white swan. Remember, white means pure, okay? But the ibis of Egypt and the swan of India, they are both what? White in plumage. Again, pure, signifying purity of what? Conscious. You're thinking right. Thought permeated with what? Wisdom, truth, and righteousness. I'm gonna show you a picture because I'm stopping right here because I got a little more, but I'm gonna stop right here. This is us. This is the Egyptian concept, and this is the Indian concept of wisdom. She represents the feather. That's that's our set, and this is our Swati sitting on the dove and the lotus flower coming out. All that symbolism, all that symbolical. That's the best part about it. Why? It don't change. It's been that way since forever. I'm just learning, and it's a good way to live. It's the perfect breakdown of what you need to do for yourself. So I just showed you, for the sake of clarity, from here on, the supreme being will be referred to as God. Okay, we know God. The ancients called him Netta, absolute, the all, nourisher. We call him God for the sake of referring. All right. Now with all capitals, God spelled with G-O-D in all capital letters, and all the other aspects of divine principles, the netters, the God and goddesses, are projected of the supreme being will be referred to as gods with the small letter G-O-D. I just showed you that. Now where we at down here, I got that done. I got a few more minutes. All right. You got ancient goddess wisdom, Aset. Her symbol was the feather of the hawk, the ibis bird, and Hindu goddess wisdom, the wisdom, goddess of wisdom, truth, learning, Saraswati, and her image is shown on a white swan, indicating purity of one's consciousness. She's the right thinker. And ancient Egypt teaches about the nature of what? Knowledge. And the devotees of Aset, I gave a breakdown a little while ago, her temple. Watch this. One who ponders over sacred matters and seeks therein for the hidden truth. The truth is hidden inside you. While all is in what? The all. It is also true that the all is what is in all, his creation. To him who truly understands this truth, have what? Have come to great knowledge, had come into great knowledge of what? Self. You're starting to what? Purify your consciousness. Okay. You're starting to realize who you are. You're not human, you're God. Salvation is what? The freeing of the soul through what? Hard work and perseverance from the bodily feathers and becoming God through knowledge and wisdom, controlling the forces of the cosmos, meaning your nature, lower nature, instead of what? Being a slave to them, meaning the ego running you. If you have the ego in control, you have problems. You're gonna be fretted and you will never reach God. Why? The ego don't want God. Ego think it's God. Okay, it's edge God out to, like that dude in the Bible. I ain't going there. Stop. Don't do that. But you do this by what? Subduing your lower nature, and through awakening of your higher self. And by doing this, aka knowing thyself, you will end the cycle of what? Rebirth, dwelling with the netters, and who what? Direct the great plains of the afterlife where everything is cool. That's the resting home for old for with the that's the resting home for the souls who made it there. That's what you do. You go there just forever. Men and women, this is the goal for all human beings. The question why we're here, men and women are to become godlike through a life of righteousness, virtue, and the cultivation of your spirit through what? Scientific study of knowledge and practice daily with bodily discipline. I'm in the gym, I meditate, I do my prayer, I'm to my lessons, I study. So I'm right on point. I'm doing what I need to do. What? For me, you can do the same for you. Wrapping it up. I said that a minute ago, but I got one more paragraph. I'm taking it home. Make your life, this is my favorite, make your life the subject of intense inquiry. What that means, study and learn and master you. In this way, what happens? You will discover what is true goal in the direction and your destiny. To know God is to strive to grow in stature way beyond all measure and to conceive that there is nothing beyond thy capability. Who is thy? Know thyself, and deathless and able to what? Know all things, all arts, all sciences, and the way of every life. Become higher than the highest height and lower than the lowest depths. Amass in thyself again all the senses of all the animals, all nature, fire, water, dryness, moisture. Think of thyself in all places, at all times, earth, sea, sky, not yet born, in the womb, young, old, dead, and in the afterlife state. These are all the things that God has the ability to do and be part of, and it's all in you. Your mind being bolder, thou use what? Your fire as tool for what? Your concentration of all things, but that a man only for things on earth. It's more things than this place you live on. You stripped of this fire, and the mind on earth cannot make thieves divine. Excuse me. Earth cannot make things divine. For what? It is human in its disposition, and such a soul, when from the body free, it if it have fought what? That good fight. Same concept. And what? To be piety, to gain piety, and to know God or thyself, and to what? Do wrong, to know such soul becomes entirely mental. Whereas the impious soul remains in its own essence, chastised by its own ignorance of oneself. That's why you get incarnated. You don't know yourself. And those who have learned to what know themselves, here you go, I'm taking it home, have reached that good which doth transcend abundance. But they who through the love that leads astray expand their love upon their body, earthly things, they stay where? In the darkness, and they tend to wander and suffer through what? Their senses, the things until death. When you love this, you're going to die. Simple as that. Now, indeed, I'm done. Okay, right, this last one. Whoever have eaten, that means study, put the work in to gain the knowledge of every God, not one, not two, but every God, every aspect of your character, that's the goal. There exists what is for all eternity and everlasting in their spirit and the body. What they willeth, they do. When you make it to that level, you good to go. Why? You home when you start out. Full circle. Hope you enjoyed the lesson. I got to go, but in closing, I think this may y'all live to be 100. Me 100 minus that day. So I never know that my right thinkers will pass away. But if you live right, they tell you you won't. So start living right. I do.